Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to cover environments and deployments. Environments are a great way to isolate code, teams, infrastructure, or just in general organize things to make them a little bit easier. So let's get started. First, we're going to navigate to our environment manager. And as you can see, when we bring this up, it has a list of our existing environments where we can edit them, change them, even delete them if we choose. But for today's purposes, we're going to go ahead and add an environment. We're going to call this environment testable and give it a description. It's always helpful to our colleagues if we do so. And give it a nice little color here, green, make it really stand out from the rest. From there, all we need to do is click Add Environment, and we'll be able to make use of the environment, create code, rivers, whatever the case may be going forward. All right, moving on to deployments. We'll click this top tab here for deployments. And as you can see, I've got a pretty good list going on here. A deployment is a grouping of code, or as we like to call it, a specific package, a bundling of connections, variables, rivers, so on and so forth, that we can move between those environments that we just ran through. Creating packages is really easy, and it's helpful to manage this code for rollback purposes, versioning, just understanding historically the way things were, and give our operators the ability to make changes in rollback really quickly if they need to with confidence. So to create a package, we click on the Add Package button. We give it a name. We'll call this one Testable again, too. And then here, the first thing we need to do is select our environment. So we'll pretend that we created something in dev, and we'd like to promote that to the Rivery production environment. After our environments are set, we need to pick what rivers and code and all the other objects we want to promote between those environments. So we can select our Twitter rivers here. We could go through and find our varying different connections. Here we go, Twitter ads from our kits, data frames, variables. If we parameterized that connection, we'd want to include our variables here as well, and so on and so forth. So it's very powerful. You can include as much or as little as you want. Next is our settings. So these are the final settings that'll impact how the deployment actually behaves. So we have sensible defaults selected, but there's times when you want to override these, and this is the place to do that. I'm not going to go through all of these, but please be aware that they do have some pretty dramatic impacts on how your overall deployment works. From there, we just need to click Next, and it'll build our deployment, and we'll be ready to go once it's done. Okay, now that our package is done being built, we can get ready to use it, or go ahead and click the deploy button and get ready to push it off into production.